I got the bloodlust.
Me too.
I want to kill. Let's kill.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to The Bloodlust. This is your go-to podcast for classy broads talking horror since 2014. This is episode 260 of the program. Tonight we are talking about Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, Tim Burton's 20th movie. It's quite a lot.
That's a lot. More than me.
Yeah, more than me as well. More than us combined.
Yeah, jeez. Impressive.
My name is Amy. I am your fearless leader. Joining me, as always, my lovely and talented co-host, Jamie. Hello, friend.
Hello.
Thank you for having me at your home.
Yes, of course.
And allowing me to meet this beautiful gentleman here.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. I'm going to get your belly.
All relaxed behind you.
He's going to kick me. Yeah.
Finishing move.
I don't want to get crazy bunnied. No, thank you. Not by a kitten. Frisky man. So tonight we are talking about Beetlejuice, but our round table is about podcasts. Like this one.
Yes.
Aside from this podcast, of course, Jamie, what are your favorite podcasts at the moment? This is a question sent in by listener Addison. Thank you again, Addison.
Thank you, Addison. I love you. Everyone should know by now I'm a creature of habit. I don't branch out a whole lot.
Jamie's a re-listener.
I'm a re-listener.
A re-watcher.
Like, I'm obsessed with re-listening and re-watching and re-reading. It's an anxiety thing. I go with what I know, what I'm comfortable with, what I know the ending of. So I'm currently re-listening for the, I don't even know, 30-something time. My dad wrote a porno.
Okay.
So I know it's been mentioned multiple times here before, but if anyone hasn't checked it out and you love comedy and you love
the British
English folk, yeah, like I can't recommend it enough because it's just so funny. It's like a comfort food for me.
I have recommended it to everyone I know that listens to podcasts.
Where it's one of those things that I can always go back to, and I know to start, like, I'm going to start this one at season 4, or I'm going to start this at, like, season 6, because I know which parts I want to hit, and I know which, like, funny bits I want to hear.
Right.
And it never disappoints. It's so funny.
It's always funny.
But I know I've mentioned that multiple times, but I'll also mention, because I don't think I've brought it up. Oh, too many times before, but there's a podcast called Beach Too Sandy, Water Too Wet that's fairly popular. It's not at the caliber of My Dad Wrote a Porno, but it makes me chuckle, and I could just kind of enjoy the banter between the two siblings who host it.
What's it about?
So they read, like, they have a topic for each episode where it'll be like, what I'm listening to is corn mazes.
Okay, and it's people's reviews of corn
And they just
mazes?
read, like, shitty reviews, but then they also have, like, redemption reviews to, like, balance it out, so there's some good ones, too.
Okay.
And then they have a challenge, usually towards the end, where it's, like, find a review where someone mentions, like, being cheated on.
Really?
Yes. And so, like, they have to, like, dig deep and find, like, some pretty obscure reviews. And it's it's funny. It's just enjoyable. It just kind of feels like, I don't know, enjoyable people chatting around you. That's not anything you have to pay super close attention to, but I like it. And that's it. I pretty much recycle like 6 podcasts, and those are the 2 that I'm listening to right now.
I am listening to Race Chaser with Alaska and Willem from Drag Race.
Okay.
That's a weekly podcast that I always listen to. They recap every episode of Drag Race.
Okay.
So it's interesting since they're insiders, and Willem has a healthy dislike for all things World of Wonder.
Yes.
So that's usually pretty interesting, and they have a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. So I listen to that every week pretty faithfully. I've also been listening to a couple of new horror fiction podcasts. One is called The Warning Woods, and that's pretty good. It's all written by one guy, and there's quite a few episodes, and I've enjoyed those. Okay. Pretty mild horror, nothing too crazy. Just like suspense and creepiness. There's another one called Ace Fail that I've been listening to that's pretty good. Also, I think all written by one guy. I have also been listening to one called Horror Hill, which is more of a mainstream one.
Okay.
That has stuff by different authors. The narrator's good, but there's a lot of ads. One of my favorite podcasts as far as like serialized horror fiction is one called Old Gods of Appalachia.
Ooh.
It's got a really good voice actor that narrates it, and the writing is really good. It's an ongoing story, and there's a lot to keep track of, so I end up having to re-listen to them several times, sort of like the Magnus Archives, where they really expect you to be paying attention. There's a lot of characters.
Yep. You already lost me.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
So I've been listening to that. They don't put out enough episodes for my liking, unfortunately. I wish they put out more. What else? There's been some new Knife Point horror episodes lately. Yeah. Some good ones. I listen to a lot of Pseudopod. I listen to that pretty much weekly. And Tales to Terrify. I have a new story that just came out on Tales to Terrify the week before last. It was a pretty good story, so check that out if you want to listen to something narrated by moi.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I haven't been listening to like nearly as much true crime podcast stuff as I used to in the past. That used to be all I listened to.
Yeah, same here.
But now I'm just like, I'm in one of those loops where I just want to hear those three Brits talk about erotic literature.
And
terrible
and
erotic
management.
Literature and middle management and and business things. So highly recommend. If you love any of those themes, you will like it.
I don't really particularly like any of those themes, but I love the podcast. So
I love British comedy.
Oh yeah, I love British comedy,
and that alone pulls me in.
That's fair. Yeah. In conclusion, listen to My Dad Wrote a Porno. Also, suggest podcasts to us.
Yeah, please.
I'm always looking for good ones. I listen to Case File regularly every Saturday, but other than that, and They Walk Among Us, I don't really listen to a lot of true crime anymore.
I like They Walk Among Us. Mm-hmm. I like This Is Monsters. That's a good one.
I don't know that
It's
one.
a good true crime one.
Yeah?
But I watch their YouTube show also, so I don't always catch the podcast because the YouTube one's the same. But I think they do a really good job of covering stories.
Okay. I'll have to listen to them. It's called This Is Monsters?
Yeah.
That's a weird title.
It is. It's not my favorite, but the show itself is good. The content's good.
This Be Monsters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here be monsters.
Yar.
Yeah.
Okay. So that'll do for our roundtable. Please send us your recommendations for podcasts. I
obviously need to branch out.
Yeah, Jamie needs many of all different types, and I could use more horror fiction recommendations. I gave you a couple. You can give me a couple. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, ditto.
All right, that's enough of that. Let's get to talking about Beetlejuice Beetlejuice.
All
Jamie,
right.
the stats.
Yes. The stats. This movie is rated PG-13. It has a runtime of 1 hour and 45 minutes, directed by one Mr. Tim Burton, written by Alfred Goh and Miles Millar, stars Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, and Catherine O'Hara. Premiered at Venice Film Festival August 28th, 2024, and released in theaters September 6th, 2024. Right now on Rotten Tomatoes, 77% fresh with critics, 82% fresh with audiences.
That stands to reason, I think. It was pretty crowd-pleasing.
Yeah.
There was a good amount of people in your theater, right?
Yes. For a Sunday morning at 10.
For a Tuesday evening.
I was shocked.
Yeah, it's making a lot of money, also. It cost a lot of money. 4 times the original.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good for them.
It costs a lot of money to make things look homemade again. I
Sure
guess.
does. Yeah. And they, like we were talking about earlier, like they were pretty much exclusively in the house.
In the first movie.
Yeah. Like outside of a few scenes, but like this one, they very much branched out. So,
yes.
And they spent a lot of time in
afterlife,
between. Yes.
Or whatever. In the bureaucratic afterlife.
Yes. Oh, God.
So this one is, actually, I put nearly 30 years, but it's 36 years after
Yeah, sounds about right.
the events of the original Beetlejuice, which came out in 1988. We are rejoining the Deetzes, as they gather at the family home to mourn the loss of patriarch Charles. He was in a plane crash and then eaten by a shark, which was a dream that Tim Burton had of how he would die. Surviving a plane crash and then being eaten by a shark.
I mean, it was great.
Yeah. So Lydia, Winona Ryder, is still kind of seeing Beetlejuice around every once in a while. She's gone on to become the host of a paranormal TV show called Ghost House, which is a little Easter egg because Beetlejuice #1 was originally titled Ghost House as its working title because they thought Beetlejuice was too weird. They had to fight to keep that title.
I mean, it is weird, but yeah.
It is. But I'm sure that the movie would not have been as successful if it had been called Ghost House.
No, certainly not.
But that's the name of Lydia's show, and she uses her ability to see ghosts as a way to mediate between the homeowner and the haunting spirits.
Yep. Classic.
But she has a daughter, played by Jenna Ortega, who resents her and doesn't believe her, and otherwise just rolls eyes at her.
Yeah, your classic mother-daughter.
Yeah. And she also has this fiancé who is played by Justin Theroux and is her producer on the TV show as well.
Yeah, manager.
Okay.
Also maybe producer. I don't know. There's some sort of trauma bonding there that is complicated.
Exactly. And so she keeps seeing Beetlejuice around, but they have to go home for Charles's funeral, and she ends up having to rejoin forces with Beetlejuice in order to rescue her daughter from the afterlife.
Yeah.
There's a lot of plot going on.
There's so much plot.
Some would say too much plot.
I would be that someone.
What else would you say about it?
Who would say this is too much plot? I mean, I would say that I enjoyed it a lot. I liked it a bunch. I thought it was fun. I laughed a ton. I think it was just like very comfortable and felt like going back home to see so many of the like original characters.
And to hear it.
And like, yeah, the Danny Elfman score and just like the soundtrack in general, like the songs they chose, I loved them. So like I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was far too plot heavy.
Far too plot heavy. I agree.
But it didn't make me hate it in any sort of way. So, but it was without a doubt its biggest fault. There was just too much. It was just way too much going on.
And I wish it would have been funnier.
Yeah, I think without the like trying to maintain so many storylines, they would have had more time to like, or more opportunity to put in some jokes and some other funnies.
And let the characters be wackier.
Yeah. So I think that was a missed opportunity. But that being said, I like how it looked. I think Michael Keaton is just the best. I just fucking love him. And same with Catherine O'Hara. Like,
they're national treasures.
Yes. It was hard to sort of separate her character from
Moira
like
Rose.
Yes.
Yeah, I felt like that too.
It felt a little, but maybe that's also kind of just her in general. So I'm like, you know what?
I kind of hope so.
I love all of them, so yeah. I'm here for it. I loved the addition of Willem Dafoe's character because he wasn't needed.
His plotline was not needed.
The plotline could have easily been removed and it wouldn't have made any difference whatsoever. But I loved his character because I thought he was hilarious. And one of my favorite bits in this entire movie was the fact that his assistant handed him a cup of coffee like every single time you see him. Like he's always just got a cup of coffee being handed to him.
Yeah.
And it made me laugh every time. And I feel like Willem Dafoe is just at a point in his career where he's like, I'm just going to take whatever weird shit's coming my way.
I think people probably write weird things for him now.
Thank God, because I love him.
I do too.
Let's do more of that. But
the cast was great.
The cast was great.
The only person I didn't really like that much was Jenna Ortega. She was neither here nor there for me.
Exactly. Like, she was very...
I mean, I guess she wasn't given a lot
forgettable
to work with.
But I also think that...
But neither was Winona Ryder.
I think that storyline was at a disadvantage by the fact that they had so many other plot lines.
Yeah.
Like, they could have built on that more and maybe made that a little bit more sort of emotionally tugging without focusing on, like, all the other stuff that was going on. Because I don't think it was terrible. Like, everyone loves sort of a mother-daughter, like, she doesn't understand me, and like
I'm
all this
tired
stuff is
of
going.
seeing it.
Yeah, but it's easy, so it's predictable, and it's an easy storyline to include.
Yes.
And so I don't think it would have been as sort of blah in this if they hadn't had so many other things competing against it. Because like between Willem Dafoe's cop character storyline, Monica Bellucci's storyline, then you've got the Lydia and Rory husband storyline, then you've got the like her mom and Charles, but her mom like wanting to summon Charles or like connect with Charles sort of thing.
Her finding her dad. Like there was just too much. It was way too packed with stuff. And sequels often do that.
Yeah.
It kind of is a hallmark of sequels, trying to throw too many things in.
That's true.
But you would kind of hope that being Tim Burton, he'd be able to...
Yes.
But he didn't write it. He didn't write the original. The original was written by Michael McDowell, who has since become one of my very favorite horror writers.
Okay.
The guy who wrote The Elementals.
Oh, yes.
Michael McDowell wrote it.
Very nice.
And there was such, like, sarcastic, snarky humor in the first one. I wished for more of that in this. And
there wasn't enough of that.
Yeah, and they didn't let Michael Keaton really get as raunchy as he could have.
No.
And I know you can't do all of that in 2024.
You can't. And I love Michael Keaton. I thought he did a great job. I thought he picked up the character, like, the exact, essentially what felt like the same as before.
Yeah.
But, like...
And they gave him a lot more screen time.
Yes. But wasn't written as well.
It wasn't written as well, unfortunately.
Yeah. So... And maybe I'm saying that because I literally just rewatched the first one, like, 2 nights ago. So... It's easy comparison, but as much as he kills the character of Beetlejuice, like, it just didn't feel quite the same.
Yeah.
And I think the Monica Bellucci character, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, she's a fox. Like,
she'll always be a fox.
Put her into anything, that's fine. Like, let's see her put her body back together and all that stuff. But that was such a, like, ho-hum storyline.
They didn't do anything with it.
Right, like she's a soul sucker, so she's like going around sucking souls, but she's also like moving throughout the underworld and no one's able to like find it. Just felt unnecessary, like some of the other stuff did. They could have removed a couple of them and then just focused on what was left and built on those.
And they could have made it shorter.
And made it shorter.
If they wanted to, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think that it would have upset anybody. It hit all of the with those plot lines that we want to get rid of. It still would hit all this.
Yeah,
the
I agree.
Right notes of a movie.
I would not want to get rid of the Lydia and Rory, like will they, won't they, weird sort of relationship, because I think Rory was maybe my favorite character in
ridiculous,
this.
Yes,
that was the Justin Theroux character, and he was so funny to me. Like, he was just this weird sort of overly emotional, like super in tune to traumatic, like
he was
emotional
like
events.
A hyper therapized guy.
Yes, but everything he said was so like ridiculous and so funny to me. Yeah. I was cracking up in the theater. Like, there were multiple times where I just laughed by myself, and no one else did because there's a bunch of kids. They don't understand trauma yet, but I liked that character, so I'd like to see more of that. And maybe it's just, we watch a lot of horror movies things, but I don't think it was, because I feel like I heard the guy behind me call it early too. The Jenna Ortega fella that she meets.
Do you want to reveal that now?
No, but now we've revealed there's something that needs to be revealed.
Yes.
But we'll touch on that later. But that seemed obvious to me. And all things said, I think it's a hard job, a difficult task to, 20 years later? When was it? 88? So more than that, like...
36 years.
Yeah, 36 years later, that's right. To try and make a sequel to a movie where it's like more than a generation past. Like, that is a hard task to try and create something that's going to not only appeal to that generation that grew up with that, and experienced that when they were young, but also like a new generation who's loving horror movies and wanting to see something new and interesting. So I think they did a fine job of sort of like treading both those.
Trying to please everybody?
Yeah. And like trying to hit both those beats and keep both areas happy. But I think they also like went overboard with
They tried too hard.
the amount of stuff in it. So I didn't hate it. I had a fun time with this. I thought this was a really fun movie. I had low bar set for this simply because, again, it's a sequel that's coming 36 years after the original. Like, that is... I had a low bar for the Furiosa movie because it's like, even to me, 10 plus years after the original is too far after it. Like, you're
treading into weird territory where
like,
you're messing with something that
people are going to forget. There's so many movies in between then.
Yeah.
Like, you're really banking on a lot of people loving that first one so much that they remember all the details that, like, they're going to be so invested in this sequel. But that being said, I had a fun time with it. I thought it was well done. I thought it looked really cool. I thought the cast was really good. I loved the soundtrack. I loved the score. It's always feels very comforting just hearing like Danny Elfman.
It made me really happy to hear a Danny Elfman score
like, it just
in the theater.
Feels so happy.
And like, it just makes me think of so many things that
love it.
Bring me happiness and brought me happiness as a child. Like it immediately makes me think of The Simpsons because that's the Simpsons theme song.
Oh, is it?
It's a Danny Elfman.
I mean, please tell me he did Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, right?
I don't know.
I feel like he did, but otherwise, like, it sounds like Danny Elfman music. It makes me think of that, which was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. But it's just like that happy, sort of comfortable place. So I loved hearing that, and I liked the new twist on it. It wasn't perfect, but then again, I had a low bar, so I wasn't expecting perfection. I knew they had like, it was a tough go from the get-go. So like, I thought they did fine. I'd probably rate this like a 3.5 because it was enjoyable, and I would recommend that people watch it, especially if you liked the first one, because I don't think it's a terrible sequel.
Do you think that people that never saw the original would care about this? I kind of feel like they probably would not.
Do not think that they will.
I think it is only for people who already like
to be honest, like, a sequel for a movie like this 36 years after the fact, I think that is mainly being marketed towards people who have a love or affinity for the very first one. So like, it is hard to recommend it. Like, they might be bringing their kids to it.
I did see a lot of kids in the theater.
Right, but I think that's because they themselves as kids or youths loved it. So they have then shared it with their kids, the first one.
Yeah.
So now they're like, well, let's come watch the second one. It's not that like, hey, let's go watch this for the first time. I think if you don't have that reference of the first one, this would hit kind of weird.
I was wondering...
It would feel even more like
disjointed and crazy, yeah.
with the plots.
What do you think it would have been like if, keeping in mind that this was just made for people who like the original, what if they had just made it an R-rated movie and made it even raunchier and grosser? I kind of think that would have been awesome. I liked
that better, to be honest.
If it was just for
I probably would have preferred if they didn't also try to cater to like
kids,
new lovers of horror.
But then it wouldn't have made as much money.
Right.
Because you couldn't have brought your kids to it.
If you're trying to get a third one.
Yeah.
Or an additional couple movies after this one. You can't really do it that way because you're not going to get the same level of audience.
I would hope that the cast would not come back for a third one.
I don't know.
That's my hope.
This one's making a bunch of money.
It is.
They're probably going to make a killing from it. And I haven't even mentioned it. It's like a inconsequential, but I love to see him. Little Danny DeVito cameo in the beginning. Just fucking love that man. Put him in more things.
I know.
Such a precious little troll.
I especially love Danny DeVito in Tim Burton things.
Exactly. Like, I love that Tim Burton has his little cast, his little fans.
And that lucky son of a bitch is dating Monica Bellucci now.
It just blows my mind. But
I know.
Hey,
good
whatever.
For him.
I mean, yeah, good for him.
Some other stuff about this. I agree. I didn't like the screenplay. It was written by the guys who are the showrunners for Wednesday,
Okay.
which makes me not want to watch that.
Yeah, I have not
Because I
watched
thought the
it,
screenplay was poor. It has a lot of nods to other Tim Burton movies, and it has a lot of nods to other movies. The most obvious one, I guess, the most obvious one is the direct reference to Mario Bava in the screenplay. But then the flashback sequence where we see where Beetlejuice met Dolores, his ex-wife, which was for no reason shot like a giallo.
It was
like a Mario Bava movie.
So funny.
In particular, Black Sunday.
Because it was so unexpected for him to just like sit down and start speaking Italian. Right. I'm like, what are we getting into? And it was like, okay, I'm here. I love it.
So I really liked that. That was a good reference. The other really obvious one that was in there was the music from the movie Carrie, the Pino Donaggio score from Carrie appearing at the end of this movie to signify to the audience that it's a dream sequence, which I really liked. That was cute. There's also other references to his other movies, like her putting herself back together with staples, like Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. Which, incidentally, Catherine O'Hara was the voice of Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah.
Huh. I never knew that.
Yeah. I was wondering why Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis didn't want to do this.
Yeah.
But it was because they wouldn't have aged. And I guess they did try to de-age them digitally, but they didn't want to use a lot of digital stuff in the making of this movie, and it didn't look good anyway. It never does.
Well, I think they handled that well then.
Yeah, and they really handled replacing Jeffrey Jones well.
Yeah, we definitely had to touch on that one.
Yeah, so Jeffrey Jones, the principal
Infamous
from
Kitty Diddler.
From Ferris Bueller, right?
Yes.
Also, he was convicted of possession of child pornography and is a registered sexual offender, so of course he was not asked to be in this movie.
Though I imagine he was probably paid something because they used his likeness.
I think if you use a cartoon version of somebody's likeness...
his face on his tombstone was pretty much a picture.
I wondered about that.
I kind of think an animated likeness of you is also still a likeness, so it doesn't matter. It's fine. I'm glad he wasn't in it, but they also can't just like pretend he wasn't a character in the first one.
Right. So I think they did it in a creative way.
I loved the claymation.
I love the
retelling
claymation too.
Of what happened to him. That was maybe my favorite part.
And that made it kind of feel like another kind of return to form for Tim Burton, which is what this movie is kind of supposed to be. Since he hasn't had the greatest of luck with movies in recent years.
Nah, yeah, he's had some
stinkers.
Some stinkers.
And I think that they kind of got away from the weirdness and the visual signature that makes him so popular and so cool.
Which I was kind of bummed about, because I think that's what I liked the most. Or like...
You don't think this one looked and felt like I think it did. I think
it did. It absolutely had his touch all over it. And like, I noticed things like, man, when she draped the whole house...
In black? That looked beautiful.
In that black, I fucking loved that.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fantastic. Basically, everything Catherine O'Hara did, like, all the scenes with her, how overly dramatic everything was like, this is perfection.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as heavily saturated with that sort of, like I was saying, like, that Tim Burton whimsy that the first one was. Whimsy. It felt like, the first one felt like it was all there. Like, the house was... There was, like, way more architectural, like, interesting things to see and colors and, like, angular things that were visually appealing and interesting. Hi, kitty. Don't bite that. And I feel like this one had too much like too many real world scenes where they're just like riding through the neighborhood and like hanging out at a house. Like there wasn't as much of that in the first one.
Yeah.
Doesn't
I
make
think it was probably
worse or
because
anything.
of budget constraints in the first one.
It easily could have been, but I loved that about the first one, was that it was like so crazy. Like you felt like you were in a fever dream through the whole thing. Like the costuming, everything was so like out of I don't know, like off. What am I looking for?
Off the wall?
Yeah, off the wall. Whatever. It was just like out of the norm. Whatever.
Yeah.
that was something that I was kind of hoping to see more of in this one. But that being said, I wasn't entirely disappointed.
I liked the look of it, personally. I thought they did a good job of
Every time they were
updating.
at the house, I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the costuming a lot.
I love the cast.
Like, it's weird seeing a Beetlejuice movie and expecting all those sort of, like, visual things and then seeing, like, Lydia driving a Tesla.
Yeah, that was weird to me, too. But she would be rich, I guess.
Right, but it's like,
TV
those
show.
are, that's a thing I'm talking about.
Right.
Whereas, like, there's maybe too much, like, there was more real worldness bleeding into it than
you wanted. Yeah, that makes sense.
I like that sort of fantasy world of
The
Tim
whole
Burton.
thing to exist in a fantasy
Yeah.
world, the way that the original
But it's fine.
did.
But it's fine. It worked.
I didn't like... I mean, I know that they needed to have the mother-daughter Venice, but I felt like they made Winona Ryder's character less cool.
100% they did.
They made her such a needy, kind of grasping,
Codependent.
insecure person. That bummed me out. I wanted her to remain...
She was not
like,
she was not nearly as cool as she was in the first
that
one.
like goth poise that she had that made her
Even
so
Catherine
cool.
O'Hara says that to her.
Yeah.
Like when they're on the porch at one point, she's like, where is that, like, she says something like, where's that annoying, like, angsty goth girl that used to give me crap all the time? She's like, find her. Like, be that again.
Yeah.
And then she never does. But, yeah, I feel like they really sort of downplayed the Lydia character.
I wish that they would have made her more of, like, if that character had grown up, what she would be like. They made her too normal. And I didn't care for that.
But then again, like...
Maybe she would grow up
maybe
that way?
that's what it would be like.
I guess. I mean, all the goths that I know have grown up to be normal, too.
Because, like, maybe you grow up and you realize, like, oh, I gotta join this rat race, and I gotta make money, so I might as well use my gifts for commercial purposes.
I think overall, it really seems like everyone's really enjoying themselves and is really happy to be there. And so it feels really fun. But I do miss the writing having some snap and having some bite to it. I wish that the plot had been more streamlined. It's wacky in the original, yes, but a lot less goes on, and there's time to let the characters breathe, and they don't do that here.
No, there's so much to keep track of and pay attention to, and it's like you're focusing on the, like, Lydia and this guy, or not Lydia, like Astrid and this guy storyline, and then all of a sudden it's Lydia and Rory, and then all of a sudden it's Catherine O'Hara and her husband thing, and then it's like the next, like, it's too much. It was too much, and it's an hour and 45 minutes, so like that's a lot to shove into that short of a movie.
Agreed. What was your favorite visual, like, what was your favorite sight gag?
My favorite sight gag.
My favorite was the pinhead people, the shrunken head
That's
guys.
so funny. That's what I was going to say.
Them.
I kind of loved that. That was such a small little bit in the first one, and they used that and just expanded on it in this one. And I thought they were so cute.
They were so cute, and
Bob was so, like, even though he didn't say anything,
he
like,
was such a good character.
You just loved him, and you didn't want anything to, like, hurt him, and he was just so cute. And I really liked them.
I really liked how they looked. I thought that the musical sequences worked pretty good.
I hated the Soul Train one. I said it before. I thought that was stupid. I thought that was overkill. I thought that was... You've said the joke a number of times now that they have to catch the Soul Train.
Right.
Like, those of a generation who know what Soul Train is have got that cue.
Right.
We understand what you're talking about. It's clever. It's funny.
We don't need two musical sequences.
We don't need to see essentially the only black people in this entire movie.
Yeah, that also made that much more obvious.
Yes, play the, like, Soul Train characters.
Right.
Like, it was just very sort of, I don't know, out of left field. It didn't fit, really. But I loved the MacArthur's Park sequence,
was ridiculous.
even though it was so
also,
ridiculous and weird.
Why is that song so weird?
The song, I've always thought that song was so weird, but I
What
also
does it
always
mean?
loved the Weird Al version of it, which is Jurassic Park is frightening in the dark. And I have no idea what it means. Like, someone left their cake out in the rain, and, like, the icing's melting, and I'll never have that recipe again. Like, it's such a weird song. But, like...
What a weird thing to sing about.
It's obviously not as good as the Deo.
No, it's not.
Scene from
or
the
the jump in the
first
line
one.
part from the end.
Right. I mean, the dinner scene, the Deo scene in the first one, to me is, like, some cinema perfection.
Yes.
It is so hilarious. And it's more just like how every character is reacting or interacting with the song and the things that are happening to them, where they're like, they seem both shocked and sort of like afraid that these are happening, but they also are like getting into it because they're like doing these movements. And there's something just so enjoyable about that. And that was missing from any of the like song parts.
Yes.
In
Although
this one,
the little choir part was good.
Loved the little kid choir at the funeral.
Yeah.
That was beautiful and almost brought a little tear to my eye. But yeah, if I'd say like sight gag, again, I loved a coffee cup being handed to Willem Dafoe's cop character almost every time he was on screen. Yeah. It was so funny to me. And there's even a scene where it shows him like his overflowing trash can of coffee cups, because like he's not really a cop. He's an actor who played a cop. Right. So like he doesn't know what he's doing. And that's one like sort of unnecessary storyline or character that I'm okay with.
They didn't do anything with him though.
They didn't, but like I'm almost okay with that.
Right.
In that like he didn't distract from anything else. Like I didn't feel like I needed to pay attention to that. He was just like some odd character who was a part of it. And it's Willem Dafoe. Like, I don't know. I feel like we give a lot of forgiveness to him because he's fantastic. Because
he's Willem Dafoe. And we're right to do so.
But I think that was weirdly my favorite sight gag, was just the like, every time he's on there, you see a coffee cup like come in from off screen from his assistant and he takes it. It's so good.
I don't think those things were probably in the screenplay. I credit Tim Burton with that kind of stuff. That feels more like him, and that made me want more of that. I like that,
yes.
Let me ask you this. A friend of mine who I saw it with, we watched Beetlejuice a few days before.
Okay.
And he hadn't seen it, but maybe once. And maybe not all the way through. And he didn't think it was a great movie. So do we just have nostalgia for it and it's not as great as we remember it?
I mean, no, he's wrong.
I think it's like pretty perfect.
It really is, because I'm thinking like, I mean, Tim Burton's made a lot of stuff since then, but at that point he hadn't done a lot that had sort of put his stamp on the like film world. And so, and that one was so heavy in his sort of aesthetic.
It set the template.
And vision.
Because Pee-wee's Big Adventure was before it.
Okay, yeah.
And it's just as good a movie, but it doesn't feel as much Tim Burton because it already has the Pee-wee universe.
And it's a horror comedy that is really, like, unlike other horror comedies. And the setting, like, the set design is so interesting, like... he's wrong. And that's all there is to it. I don't think it's a nostalgia thing. I think
it's just a good movie.
I think it's a great movie that came out at a time where there was nothing else like that had come out. And if you were a fan of horror, if you were a fan of sort of interesting genre movies that were just sort of like visually different than other stuff that was out, like it was such a really sort of like monumental film to come out at that time that like I had gone probably 10 years since I'd rewatched it, and I still remembered so much of it like so vividly because it is that impactful. Like you don't see anything else like that.
You still
like,
don't. Not
I mean,
really.
even from Tim Burton, who still like continues to make movies with his thumbprint on everything and his same vision, but like that is uniquely like in a weird sort of like time capsule of that time where it just is a perfection that hasn't been repeated.
Would you give the original 5 stars?
Oh, absolutely.
Me too.
That was one that it was a frequent rental. And I think I was the only one of my siblings who liked that one. But I loved the sandworm.
Yeah.
Weirdly. And I loved the like reworking of the sandworm in this one.
They did a great job with it. It was wonderful. Awesome. I loved how the sand like vibrated.
Yes, it was very like Dune-esque.
Yeah, it was.
But I liked that they didn't go too hard into the CGI sort of like digital look of it. They still had that sort of like practical effect look to it.
Which is the second movie in a row, I think, where we've seen that. No, because Civil War was before. But what was the movie we saw before it? The Alien movie, where they tried to use the same effects that they had in 79 and stuff. And I think both of those movies had a great look to them for the same reason. Because they tried to be faithful to it and they didn't try and update. And it looked good.
Yeah, agreed. Yep, I love that about this one, is that, like, even, like, all the minor characters you see in it, like, especially when you're in the underworld, and, like, even Charles, when he's, like, in the waiting room, or, like, when, what's her name? Delia. Yeah, if I keep wanting to call her Dahlia, goes to the waiting room, and you see the, like, surfer guy who's, like, it's just his torso that's there, but then Charles is there, and it's just his lower half. Like, it's just funny to see those sorts of characters. Or the cat lady. Yeah. The old cat lady who died, and her cats died with her, but they're also, like, eating her legs and stuff. Like, that was so funny.
Or the guy who choked on a hot dog.
Like, it says so much, about those characters, and it, like, it creates such a rich, like, background for them, even though they're not even part of the movie necessarily. They're just, like, just visual little pieces. And I like that. I liked that a lot about the first one, so that was something I was happy to see in this.
Me too. Yeah, I give the original 5, and I give this one a 3.5.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to see it in the theater.
No.
But if you're a fan of Beetlejuice, I think you'll like it. It's cool to see the characters come back, and they add some cool people and stuff to it.
Agreed.
And they all seem like they're having fun. And anything that brings Catherine O'Hara onto the screen is a mitzvah, and we should all support.
Yes, can't say that enough.
Protect that woman at all costs.
And she's a gem.
She's a national treasure.
She
of Canada.
She and Justin Theroux, those two characters made me laugh the most in this.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
But he had very distracting hair.
I don't even remember his hair.
Like, has he had something done?
He's probably had plugs.
Okay, because his hairline was incredibly distracting and weird.
I didn't even notice.
His character was so funny.
Yes, he was. So that's what we thought about the movie. Let us know what you thought. Were you a big fan? Are you a big fan of the original? How do you think this one compared? Let us know. It's okay for kids to watch, by the way.
I think it drops an F-bomb a couple times.
I think there's one. I think you're allowed like 2.
I think there's at least 2 in this.
Maybe there's 2.
Yeah.
But it's still okay for kids.
It is. Kids will love it. Kids love the F word.
Yeah, kids love naughty swears.
Yeah.
Jamie, what are we doing next?
We are doing Substance.
The Substance.
The
new Coralie Farge movie starring Demi Moore and
Dennis Quaid.
Is it?
I don't know. I just saw
Jamie
him
thinks Dennis Quaid might be in
I feel like I saw him on the poster. Let me look. I'm
Okay.
going to look because now I need to know.
But we know Demi Moore's in it. We know Coralie Farge, the director of the film Revenge, made it. Mm-hmm. Dennis Quaid. What do you know?
There he is.
So that comes out on September 18th, so pretty soon here.
We are
do see it.
Excited for that one.
I'm pretty excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
Some other movies that we were thinking about doing in the coming weeks are The Coffee Table. I've been hearing a lot about that. One called Starve Acre. I think, what's his name's in it? Benedict Cumberbatch, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of a folk horror movie, so we're thinking about doing that one. So let us know if you have any suggestions that you want us to review. We will do that. Jamie, we're getting close to our 10-year anniversary.
My goodness.
That's right.
Has it been that long already?
Yeah.
Crazy.
In October, it will be our 10-year anniversary. Oh, he didn't like that. He's like, you're talking to my face, woman.
He loves a little nose touch.
Oh.
He just doesn't know you yet.
Yeah. Oh, little man. He looks like he's scowling at
Not
me,
so
but it's
little.
just his face. Do you look like Ron Perlman?
He's good. He might, eventually.
He already looks like Ron Perlman to me.
No, not yet.
Yeah, he does. He looks like Ron Perlman.
You're so cute.
Well, so is Ron Perlman. We learned today that Jamie has a weird crush on Willem Dafoe. Sorry, I just put you out on
You
Front
say
Street.
weird, I say perfectly normal.
Yeah, that's fine. That's just fine.
He plays weird characters, and I always just find them very endearing.
Understandable. I
And
find
I've heard
him
he's
wonderful.
got a big hog.
Oh, I've heard that too. Yeah.
So, there's that.
Well, with that, why don't we leave you? Keep those cards and letters coming. Send us more roundtable questions. Please review our show. We've been at 85 reviews for...
We're at 100 now.
No! We're at 85.
Bollocks.
No, I'm telling you. So, if you could review us, that would be nice. I know we have some new listeners. So come on.
Well, welcome, new listeners.
Yeah, and do your part. It makes me so happy every time we get a new one. And it's been a while. Yeah. This has been episode 260. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Jamie, for joining me.
Well, of course.
Until next time, I've been Amy.
I'm Jamie.
Thank you, good night, and hail Satan.
Bye.